Welcome to the MovieReview.tv. I'm Kirstie McLellan Day, here with Dean Kish, as in fish, and Geordie Day. Welcome, guys. Super 8 is the latest brainchild from director J.J. Abrams and producer Steven Spielberg. That J.J. Abrams knows how to get a movie made. He's obviously seen E.T., Close Encounters, AI, and War of the Worlds. And you know Steve. Dead parent, little kitties, aliens, a spaceship. I can just hear him now. Genius, JJ, genius. Someone cut him a check for 45 mil.
Guys, watch out!
Okay, Super 8, what'd you think, Dean?
Somebody's asleep at the wheel when they made this. Why did Steven Spielberg even okay this? We have, like you said, the same elements in all these Spielberg movies, but I felt like I was watching a forgotten episode of The X-Files.
And what about you, Geordie?
I was really disappointed with Super 8. I was really excited to see it, and I think the first 30 minutes I thought were great, but then after that, there's just no surprises. It's just obvious and predictable throughout the whole movie.
I saw it. No one believes me.
Classic case of a trailer selling a movie, don't you think, Dean?
Exactly. Basically, the kids are reciting lines from the Goonies.
Now, I also noticed anachronistic language. They use the word douche, and it's supposedly 1979.
Yeah, who says that in 1979?
Were you born in 1979, Geordie?
No, I was born in 1990.
Ah, that's your problem. All right, are we going to see it, flee it, or VOD it, Dean?
Flee.
Flee it. That's tough language from you, Dean, and Geordie?
I'd VOD it.
You're going to VOD it. Geordie's a little kinder. I say flee it too. 2 against 1, you lose. Set during the Cuban Missile Crisis, X-Men First Class reboots the X-Men franchise with an Austin Powers meets James Bond twist. And First Class has great casting. It makes brilliant use of new Hollywood talent like Last King of Scotland's James McAvoy and Oscar-nominated Jennifer Lawrence. One of my favorite characters, though, is Kevin Bacon. He's really good at being bad.
You can stay and fight for the people who hate and fear you, or you can join me and live like kings.
Geordie, X-Men First Class, what do you think?
I gotta be honest, those X-Men movies aren't for me. I agree with what you were saying. They tried to make it like cool, and then there's like that cute dialogue mixed with all these ridiculous costumes and everything, and it's like a circus. I just can't handle it.
Dean, Geordie can't handle it.
That's right, I like the X-Men.
Somehow I knew you would.
Well, it makes sense taking them back to the 60s because the comic was created in 1963. My favorite character in the film is Michael Fassbender.
I've been at the mercy of men just following orders. Never again.
I think he's such an underrated actor in Hollywood. One of these days, I'm thinking he's going to get an Oscar nomination.
Wow, that is high praise indeed. And Geordie, how does it compare to the other X-Men?
I felt it was a lot like the other X-Men. The original X-Men came out like 11 years ago, and I didn't see anything different. It seemed to follow the same sort of form, the same structure, and it was set in the 60s, but it puts me to sleep.
11 years ago, you would have been having an afternoon nap, I imagine. All right, well, Dean, see it, flee it, or VOD it?
See it.
Geordie.
I'd flee it.
You would flee it. All right, well, I say see it too. I think it's worth it because of Kevin Bacon.
Choose freely, but know that if you are not with us, then by definition you are against us.
Nominated for 10 Oscars, the Coen brothers' True Grit is full of perfect moments that will become part of you. And because it's the Coen brothers, it takes an alternative route, never arriving at the expected destination. It's a brilliant adaptation of a terrific story.
How many men have you shot?
Shot or killed?
Let us restrict it to killed so that we may have a manageable figure.
Geordie, True Grit.
I loved True Grit. Thought it was a really great twist on the novel. One thing I thought was interesting was the way that Stenfield and Damon just seemed to be able to pick up and nail the Coen brothers' dialogue, because that can be really tricky for actors that have never worked with them before.
You know anything about the whereabouts of Cheney?
Well, he's in the territory, and I hold out little hope for you earning your bounty.
Why is that?
My man will beat you to it.
Dean?
True Grit is made me forget John Wayne, which I think is extremely difficult. It's a powerful Western. Jeff Bridges once again gives another Oscar-worthy performance. What's kind of funny is there's even a little bit of the dude from Big Lebowski in his performance.
Marshal Cogburn? Can we depart this afternoon?
We?
What's with Jeff Bridges? He's everywhere these days.
Well, he's just a brilliant actor. As Dean says, he brings the same element to every movie. He's dynamic in every movie, but he can play a different variety of roles.
Okay, Dean, see it, flee it, or VOD it?
See it.
Geordie?
See it for sure.
And I say see it for sure, too. Thank you for joining us today on the moviereview.tv.